What is going on, traders? We got a lot to discuss in this video, but before we start, like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below. Let's get into the video. So, in my last video, I gave you guys a few scenarios, and one of my scenarios was that we visit previous highs or we make newer highs. And right now, we're looking at the NQ 4-hour chart. I see it, you see it. We got us an inverse head and shoulders pattern here. We got our shoulder here, head here, and another shoulder here. And as you guys can see, we zoom in closer. We currently broke the neckline. Not only did we break the neckline, which is this trend right here, we retested it. And we're continuing to go higher, even currently during after hours. So this is really, really good. Right now, my target is, and I said this in the Discord, is about 20,500. And that's new highs. All right. That's newer highs. Now, the lowest we can go, or I guess the minimum we can go, for lack of better wording, is about 20,300 range, which is pretty much previous highs. Or another scenario, we just make lower highs and then boom. Okay. So that is on the table. But for right now, I think we can see 20,500 on NQ. I really do. And obviously, if we do see that, that will create newer highs across the market or at least across the tech sector. So that's really what I have as far as in queue right now. Yes, 4 hour, same exact thing. Okay, same thing. Now, granted, the measured move isn't too great, and I'm not surprised by that considering how lackluster the SPY has been, despite the market continuously going up, or at least the tech side going up. The SPY has just really not been reacting too much of anything. And yeah, we got more of a bigger move, I guess, today, but it wasn't anything spectacular in comparison to everything else. So the move here is obviously previous highs at around 5,580. That's what I'm looking at as far as the ES. You got your inverse head and shoulders pattern here. You're currently breaking the trend here. You got your shoulder here, head here, another shoulder here. Things are looking phenomenal. Okay, phenomenal for tomorrow. Now, if you don't know, tomorrow we have PCE data at around 8:30 Eastern. We actually got a lot of things tomorrow. It's crazy. We got Chicago PMI, that's important. We got consumer sentiment, that's important. Inflation expectations, that's important. And then we have a Fed member speaking, and that's really up on the air on how important that is. It just depends on what the Fed member says, really. So we got a lot going on tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be pretty crazy, I imagine. Okay. But right now, I gotta go with the TA. I gotta go with the charts are telling me. They haven't let me down as far as regardless of news. They just haven't let me down. And right now, I am leaning very bullish. Okay. Very bullish. Okay. Now, one thing that's kind of setting me back is the triple Qs. The triple Qs is like in a weird spot here. All right. So we go to our daily time frame and we zoom out. Now let's zoom out. All right. As you guys can see, we're pretty much trading in this channel on a daily time frame as far as the triple Qs go. And right now we're back at the top of that channel. All right. So it's weird, right? It's really weird. So if I had to assume how the news or how the market will react to the news tomorrow, maybe we get some type of sell off to create some space, some more space to the upside. We get maybe a move back to 478 real fast, 480. I'm thinking maybe 475. Okay, 475 psych level because we did originally bounce off that area. And then maybe the rest of the news that comes in after PCE data comes in good, and then we continue to go higher. All right. So that's the potential move I'm looking at right now as far as the triple Qs, or we just completely break out of here. But as you guys can see, we zoom in closer. The candles are getting smaller here. All right. That's what's kind of bugging me. We got a bigger candle here. It gets smaller, and then it gets smaller from there. So we could look at a slight rejection in the morning before we continue higher. That is on the table, or we just completely break out of here. All right. Now, I've been telling you guys that the Qs can easily finesse us, the SPY and the Qs, where they just do this over and over. I've been telling you guys this multiple videos. It just does this, and that would be annoying. And if you need like an example on when that happened, I mean, you can zoom out and you see it right here. I mean, it was just really. I imagine this is really annoying for bears more than anything. Bulls are probably just going to continue to eat off this kind of move, but this is on the table as well. It doesn't necessarily make newer highs, but it doesn't necessarily make lows either. It's just going back and forth over and over. All right. So that is something the Qs can do. So be careful. Okay. I would say that much. Be careful. Don't go too crazy as far as being a bear. If you want to be bearish here, I don't really recommend it because the NQ and the ES are showing us a different story here. We look at the SPY. SPY has plenty of space to the upside. I've Had to adjust my rising wedge, but the rising wedge is still here. All right, it's still here, guys. So I had to readjust it a little bit because SPY was being a little weird. Okay, it was just being a little weird in comparison to everything else. So I had to look back at things and see maybe I did something wrong here, and might have been a little bit off. Okay, might have been a little bit off. Now maybe I'm just being biased here, and I just changed things to focus on being bullish. But right now it looks great. Okay, things are looking absolutely great, and it looks like we're trying to visit previous highs again. I told you guys we could make another double top scenario here where we hit visit 550 on the SPY again. I said the same thing on triple Qs, or we head back up here at 555. So if the NQ does hit 20,500 and the ES does make newer highs, then I'm assuming that the SPY and triple Qs are going to want to follow suit and make newer highs as well. So the move that I'm looking at, if that happens, is 555 on the SPY. Wouldn't even be surprised we go to 560 at that point. So something to keep in mind here. That's what I'm looking at as far as the SPY. That's what I'm looking at as far as the triple Qs. Let's get into the stocks. And by the way, if you're worried about key levels here, your key levels hasn't changed since the last video. You're looking at 544. You break below 544, 542, then 540 your psych level, and then the lowest I'm looking at is about 537 as far as the SPY. As far as upside, you just want to break previous highs. You break previous highs, then you're in price discovery mode, and that's that's pretty much it. It's as easy as that. Okay. As far as stocks go, let's talk about stocks. Apple. I told you guys, Apple hasn't yet reached our target here, but if we look at the 4-hour time frame, okay, I told you guys that a potential head and shoulders can form out here. It's not the cleanest, okay? I will say that much. It's not the cleanest. I'm not really sold on it yet. I would like to see maybe bigger candles here where we start hitting this trend and do something like this over and over. And then I will lean more inverse head and shoulders. So it looks like something's trying to form here. And right now, I have to be bullish on Apple. Okay. I just have to. And the move I'm looking at, I've said this multiple times, is about 215, 218, and then 220 as far as Apple. Wouldn't even be surprised this thing goes higher at that point. I'm at this point. I mean, it's Apple. It clearly rejected down here. A lot of people got psyched out down here because they didn't wait for the key level of 206 to be broken. And look what happened. We're just right back in the supply and demand zone. We break out of the supply and demand zone. We break above 220. Apple is going to go ballistic once again. All right. But we'll talk about that in another video. Um, right now, I do think Apple can go as high as 230, 250 if we're talking long term. I would say into its earnings, 250, we could see that. But right now, I'm focused on 220, and then after that, I'm looking at the minimum, at minimum 230. All right, that's really all I have for Apple. And as far as downside goes, until it breaks 206, there's really nothing to talk about here. It breaks 206, you're looking at 205 psych level, and then at that point, I just honestly think it'll just head back to 200, 196 range. Okay, and that's where I'm looking at as a buying opportunity for Apple, whether it's shares or a leap trade. But right now, Apple just looks absolutely powerful right now. It just looks diabolical. There's nothing to talk about here. Okay. Amazon. I told you guys, man. I told you guys about Amazon, man. I've been telling you guys about this forever. And look what happened. I told you, once it breaks 192, start packing your bags. Pack your bags, get some spicy Doritos, get you some salsa, get you some Kool-Aid, because we're going to the moon and we're here. We're here. Once we break 200, we're there. Okay? Once we get to 200, we're there. And I have no doubt in my mind, no doubt in my mind at all that Amazon will not see 200. Okay. I truly believe it's going to see 200. Simple as that. I'm willing to put the house on it at this point. I mean, look at how much space we got. Okay. I told you guys last video, we can go as high as 208, 210 on Amazon. If we want to really ball it and play conservative, I'm looking at 205. It's ready. It's absolutely ready. I mean, we zoom out, you guys see it. So much space. So you guys know I'm not making this up. We rejected here, rejected here, rejected here, rejected here. I mean, it's ready, guys. I've been telling you guys this for I don't even know. It feels like 2 months or something. I don't know. But we have so much space here. Now, worst case scenario here. Worst case scenario, because we're looking at the daily time frame, right? Let's say we do get a sell-off tomorrow. If Amazon just so happens to bless you with a retest of about 194, 193 range, I would take that. And me personally, I would take that. You do what you want with this information, I would take that. If we do get some slight sell off in the morning or whatever the case may be, 194, that would be my next entry point. 194. If it gets okay, so if it gets to 194 before we see 200, That's when I will look for that opportunity. If it sees 200 and then goes to 194, then I'm not too interested at that point. All right. So that's my thoughts as far as Amazon goes. I mean, it's simple as that. I don't have much else to talk about here. It looks beautiful. I've been talking about it. If you missed the train ride, you just don't like money. Okay. You don't like money. You love your family too much. That's fine. But us, we left ours because we want the Lambos. We want a new family, all that fun stuff. That sounds so bad, but you guys get the idea, right? But regardless, 210, 210, 205 if we want to lowball it. I mean, it looks absolutely beautiful. And I mean, I can't stress it enough. I can't stress it enough. If you've been on this channel for a while and you're still not locked in with me, if Apple didn't sell you, if Microsoft didn't sell you, if Amazon didn't sell you, I don't know. You just hate money. I don't know. You just hate it. Okay. So that's all I have for Amazon. 210 is the target here, people. Take it or leave it. Tesla. Tesla, 220 is still my target on this. Did I say 220 for Amazon? I meant 210 if I did say that. But 220 is my target for Tesla. This looks beautiful, guys. Look at the symmetrical triangle. Look at this breakout on the daily. I mean, this is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I told you guys in the last video, you're absolutely illiquid in this area. Let me right here. You're so illiquid in this area. If Tesla can clear 199, 200 psych level, I said this in the Discord. If it can clear those levels, pack your bags. We're gone. We're absolutely gone. We're going past the moon at that point because we're already there. We're already in the moon, but we're going past the moon. Okay, if that happens. So 199, 200 is what I'm looking for on Tesla right now in the Discord. We are in what are we in on Tesla? I believe we're in 200 calls. No, so we sold those. Well, so I was looking to get in on 202.5 calls on Tesla for next week. I don't think I alerted that yet, but I wanted to wait to see how tomorrow looks because we're already in like two trades and I don't want to over leverage ourselves. But regardless of what happens tomorrow, as long as Tesla stays below 200, I'm in there. Okay. At open, if Tesla even blesses us, if it does one of these moves tomorrow morning where it retests the top of the symmetrical triangle at around 192, 190 range, best believe I'm jumping in that. We're getting in that in the Discord. And right now I'm looking at the 202.5 contracts for July 5th. That's what I'm looking at. Feel free to check the contracts out. Absolutely beautiful play. On a 4 hour time frame, it looks like we attempted to retest. So actually, it looks like we created a supply and demand zone. So that's even better. So as long as we open below 200 on Tesla or 199 on Tesla, give or take, I mean, look right here. We're in this range now. So best case scenario at this point. So we're going to scratch the 192, 190 level. If we hit 194, 195 within the supply and demand zone, I'm in there. Simple as that. I'm in there. Do what you want with that information. But again, okay, if we really want to lowball it, okay, if you guys are like, all right, 220 is a far stretch, Titan, I'm new to this channel and you out here calling out these crazy levels and I ain't never seen you. This is my first video watching, but and you want a conservative level, I would look at 205. Okay, 205 for Tesla, 210 after that. Well, actually 207, then 210 after that. Highest we can go is 220. We can obviously go higher, but right now I'm lowballing it and we're looking at 220 on Tesla. Now, if you've been on the channel for a while and you followed every single level that I've called and you realize that majority of those levels have hit and those targets have hit regardless of how things look, regardless of how far away we were from that level, you already know what time we're on. Be ready, okay? Be ready for Tesla to go absolutely parabolic. I mean, what more do you want? Look at this beautiful daily chart. Look at this beautiful breakout on the daily chart. 220, simple as that. Take it or leave it. SMCI. I don't think I plotted on SMCI. We are in a trade on SMCI in the trading group as far as, let's see, in the Discord group, I mean, we are in 1,300 calls for July 19th. I think SMCI is going to see 900 tomorrow, if anything. But right here, okay, let's zoom in. Let's lock in real quick. Right here. So we broke below this trend right here, and then we broke back above it. But what's more important here? What's more important? Let me actually check the 4 hour real quick. I don't think it was the 4 hour. Was it the weekly? Yeah, here we go. The weekly looks good. Now, granted, the week isn't over, but I'm so confident. I'm not even gonna lie. I might have jumped the gun on here, but I'm so confident that SMCI is going to go ballistic. Okay, it's going to go ballistic. All right. I think it can go as high short term. Okay, short term. Keyword is short term here is 1,050. Okay, I think tomorrow we can start heading towards 950. All right, that's what I'm looking at as far as FMCI. As far as long term, because we're in July 19 cons, which I guess really isn't long term. I would guess. Yeah, I guess it's all about perspective there. We can go as high as 1320. That's what I'm looking at for SMCI. Looking at the daily time frame, we broke right back above this trend with strong bullish momentum. I mean, look how strong this candle is. Not only that, I mean, you can kind of see a inverse a cup and handle right here. Actually, that's the wrong one. Let me see. Here we go. Somewhat of an inverse head and what I keep wanting to say inverse head and shoulders pattern. Cup and handle pattern here. Boom. Not gonna be clean because I'm doing it like fast, right? Boom. All right. Keep in mind, handles for cup and handles do not have to be bull flags. I don't know who's speeding people that news. All right, that's not. It doesn't have to be that. It just has to look like some type of handle. I've seen plenty of handles look like this. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But regardless of the matter, SMCI looks absolutely beautiful. We're in 1,300 calls for July 19th. Feel free to check those contracts out. I actually like the 950 calls for next week as well. So if SMCI doesn't do anything crazy tomorrow as far as movement, I will check those contracts out as well. If you're looking for like a cheaper play, 950 calls for next week. I would say 900 calls for tomorrow, but the market's closed. But that's all I have for SMCI. Next stock I'm looking at is GameStop. We're in 26.5 calls. I honestly called this before the Roaring Kitty thing. I didn't know he actually posted anything or anything like that. I don't follow the guy. I don't care for the guy or anything. To me, he's just I won't get into that. I might get canceled or something. I don't know, something crazy. But right here on GameStop, daily time frame, you got your inverse hammer pattern. You already know how the inverse hammer pattern works. If you've been on this channel for a while, I've shown you guys example of it on a SPY and what happened the next day. We went absolutely crazy. Um, I believe there was something else. So right now we're bouncing off this trend on GameStop, and as you guys can see, we rejected the trend right here, and we broke through this trend right here. Okay. So I think we're going to go higher. My price target for GameStop is 35. If this thing doesn't start moving soon, I'm just gonna give up. I'm gonna give up on meme stocks because it's just not worth the headache at this point. This shorting crap and all that stuff is just ridiculous. And honestly, I will be completely my portfolio will be completely fine without a meme stock. That's just me. But right now I'm looking at 35, assuming that it's going to follow my trading strategy. If not, then oh well, I'll just take a loss on it and make it back up with something else. But that's what I'm looking at, and that's the trade that we are in as far as the Discord. 26.5 calls for next week. My target is 35 as far as GameStop. Stock that was requested was Pan W. Someone requested this. Is this it? Pan W. Yeah, I think this is it. Is this it? I think this is it. Yeah. Yeah. This is it. Okay, here we go. So, Pan W. All right. So we're looking at the weekly chart. Simple as this. I mean, I'm gonna make this short and sweet. I think Pan W, given the market conditions, and if the market continues higher, right now it's in the middle of this gap fill. So my target is 360. Simple as that. I think 360 highest I'm looking at is about 370. If you really want to be optimistic, 380, but I will focus on that 360 target first because remember, I tell you guys this all the time. Gaps have very strong support and resistance. So at 360, I wouldn't get greedy. Okay, after 360, I wouldn't get greedy at that point. I would just take my money and leave if you are looking to trade this, or maybe you have shares. I don't know, whatever. But right here, at around 360 is my target. It's pretty simple. I mean, as you guys can see, we broke out here on the daily time frame. We broke out of this pattern here. I didn't make it up. You bounced here, and then you just kind of left it. I mean, it didn't give a damn about it. You rejected up here. You rejected twice here in this area. So, and then eventually it just broke out. And even here, okay, we zoom in. As you guys can see, we attempted to retest it. It wasn't like the cleanest retest, or maybe I'm just slightly off, whatever, but that's completely fine. But you retested the top of the pattern and then you just took off. So 360 is what I'm looking at. Worst case scenario, okay, worst case scenario, if we do just so happen to get some type of slight sell off tomorrow, I'm not really counting on it. Maybe you fill this fair value gap down here at around 326, 325 range. I don't think that's going to necessarily happen. And the reason why I don't think that's going to happen is if we're looking over here in this area, there's a lot of turbulence. And Pan W just broke into this area where these guys are. So in order for it to really break down, we would need some really bad news, I imagine. So I would say if it breaks below 330, then yeah, you might want to look to dollar cost average or whatever you're doing as far as the trade goes or as far as shares go. And you may want to look to dollar cost average or maybe just get out the trade completely. But that's what I'm looking at as far as Pan W. Now keep in mind this is the daily time frame. It doesn't have to play out right away. So I would give the contract some time, if anything. But the fact that we're in this area is actually a good sign. It's actually a good sign. The fact that Pan W broke into this where these guys are in this supply and demand zone, this is a daily supply and demand zone. So let me actually mark it out so it can like be more clear. It's not going to be perfect, by the way, but right here, the fact that we broke into this area, so obviously above 337, 338 is really good. As long as we stay above this area, and I mean, even after hours, is this right? After hours is that it jumped up to 342. So yeah, hopefully if you are in this trade, you're looking good. I'm not gonna lie. So 360 is my target for Pan W. I dragged this video pretty long. I didn't expect to have it this long, so I do apologize, guys. But that's all I have for this video. Discord link is in the description below. We've been absolutely killing it. We haven't taken a L at all this week, I believe. We're in SMCI, we're in GameStop. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. We traded Amazon like, I don't even know, like 3 times today. We traded Amazon, made a nice little, I made more than this actually, but like $300 off that play. Another play on Amazon, 195 calls. I think I talked about this in the last video. As you guys can see, made a nice 50%, $600 off that play. Actually, this is up to $1,000, like $1,500. So yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So this is up at 15. It was like 12. It's like probably like 1,200 now because Amazon did take a little dip, but absolutely beautiful play here. Another play was Tesla. We've been finessing Tesla as well. Nice little $150 there. Um, Amazon again. I mean, no, this was the same play, but earlier. But I mean, guys, we've been killing it in the Discord. I mean, I don't understand. I'm seeing some of the most ridiculous traders get like people joining their Discord group for like $100, and they're absolutely terrible at trading. All right. The Discord owner is is actually terrible at trading. I'm seeing it across the board, and I don't understand. I'm seeing these Discord members or Discord owners be bearish, like hardcore bearish, when the market is clearly bullish and people are following those guys. I don't get it. All right. So if you want actual good trades with actual strategies that's not making you pennies but making you 50 to 100%, you know what to do. Discord link is in the description below. That's all I have for this video. Until the next video, traders, have a good one.